I'm Cynthia Izaguirre with your top stories in North Texas. An important update on our investigation into the potential hidden dangers on our roads. We exposed how dangerous trucking companies disappear after deadly crashes, only to reconstitute under a new name and go right back on the road. Tonight, a Wyoming lawmaker is moving to shut down these so-called chameleon carriers. They rack up safety violations, dissolve, and re-emerge with clean records. Senior investigative reporter Tanya Iser spent months on this investigation and has the update.
Today, U.S. Representative Harriet Hageman introduced the Safety and Accountability in Freight Enforcement Act. The SAFE Act, legislation aimed at closing the gaping oversight failures uncovered in our year-long investigation. The bill directs federal regulators to finally determine how widespread chameleon carriers are and how many deaths, catastrophic injuries, and crashes have been tied to them. In our series, Blind Spots, we documented how companies tied to deadly wrecks shut down, then reopen under new company names, often using the same trucks, the same drivers, even the same addresses, exploiting gaps in federal oversight. The SAFE Act would require the Comptroller General to report back to Congress within 1 year and would direct the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration to build an automated screening system designed to catch carriers trying to game the system before they're cleared to haul freight again. Supporters say the goal is simple: stop dangerous companies before they return to the road, not after another crash forces action. You can watch our series Blind Spots right now on demand on WFAA+. Back to you.
It has been days since outbursts led officers to escort a man out of the Tarrant County Commissioner's Court, and we've tracked that man down. He told Brittany Costello being removed from the meeting feels like a violation of free speech.
The Tarrant County Commissioners meeting Tuesday.
I know you don't think the rules apply to you. I know you don't.
I'm glad you found value.
We are now in recess.
Was contentious, from abrupt calls for recess.
Please remove him.
To the removal of several people in the audience.
What I'm most upset about is just there was really important things I wanted to say.
E.J. Carrion was one of them. He was waiting to speak against the county's partnership with immigration enforcement when County Judge O'Hare gavelled out for recess.
All I simply said was, and I did scream, "Oh, here we go again."
While business was on break, he was removed from the court by the sheriff's office and issued this trespass warning, and says he was told he could be banned for a year.
You can't just silence people. We still live in a democracy.
Alexander Montalvo was next.
And I also didn't agree with reducing the community's public comments.
Commissioners were discussing a proposal to limit public speaking during meetings.
We wouldn't have this
We
chaos.
will go to item 10.1. All right, we'll take a recess.
When an exchange with Commissioner Elisa Simmons led to another recess.
I just started commenting and saying fascist, fascist, fascist.
Montalvo showed us these videos.
I heard you, he pointed you out.
Showing deputies escorting him out of the building too.
This is a function of our democracy for us to be engaged in the process.
Judge O'Hare did not respond to our request for an interview, but he did address the court.
Political theater simply does not help people.
After commissioners passed every contested topic 3-2.
Of course I respect the Constitution and the right to free speech. Free speech does not mean anyone can cause whatever chaos, say whatever foul-mouthed thing, do whatever agitation.
Montalvo and Carrion say they will be back. In Tarrant County, I'm Brittany Costello.
We're learning new details about a massive dogfighting ring. Police found drugs, guns, and hundreds of dogs across Dallas County. Morgan Young just spoke with an SPCA investigator to hear what comes next.
Well, the good news update I received from multiple groups is that the dogs that were recovered from Operation Fight Club are safe and being well cared for. Nearly 150 of them were taken to an ASPCA recovery center. That organization provided these photos of some of the dogs that were rescued from Lancaster and Ellis County. The organization says that while they are in their recovery center, they will receive necessary forensic exams, shelter, and crucial medical and behavioral treatment. Dallas police announced that warrants were served at dozens of locations in this operation. We are still waiting for more specifics from the department. The SPCA of Texas, which serves North Texas specifically, says it has about 45 of those dogs that were rescued. The organization's chief animal cruelty investigator told me this operation spanned multiple properties across multiple counties, all connected.
It's kind of a widespread misconception that these dogfighting operations no longer exist because you don't really hear about them or see them. In reality, it's still very prevalent. They are intentionally hidden from the public view and they operate in tightly controlled underground circles, and we just don't see them, and they're hard to find, they're hard to catch. But it's organized crime. Plain and simple.
Burns encourages people to report suspicious activity to their local animal enforcement departments, especially because she says these types of crimes typically go hand in hand with other violent crimes. DPD announced that along with 207 dogs seized in this operation, they also recovered dozens of firearms, cocaine, and fentanyl pills.
They're often intersecting with illegal gambling, narcotics trafficking, weapons offenses. So it's not just a blood sport, it's a public safety issue. And these are things that are being brought into our communities.
DPD says it will announce arrests in this operation as this investigation continues. As for the dogs that were recovered, Burns says that they will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis, making sure there are no medical issues or any threats to the public, and really just working with those dogs to get them ready to be adopted. Back to you.
American Airlines is facing all kinds of internal issues right now. Dozens of flight attendants are picketing outside American Airlines headquarters in Fort Worth, demanding the CEO step down. Tiffany Liu spoke with the head of the union, who told her Robert Isom is putting the future of the airlines at risk.
Chanting to American Airlines headquarters, flight attendants led the march.
Robert Isom's got to go.
Protesting CEO Robert Isom. This week, the Association of Professional Flight Attendants Board of Directors voted no confidence in his leadership.
Why are we not seeing a change in the CEO?
Julie Hedrick is national president of the union that represents 28,000 flight attendants.
We've been hearing the same excuses as to why we are not profitable, of why we have fallen so far behind United and Delta.
APFA is demanding accountability, a strategy to rebuild customer trust, and better support for frontline workers.
Flight attendants on the floor. We want Isom out the door.
Julie says during the recent winter storm,
we had flight attendants who were sleeping on the floor in crew rooms. We had flight attendants that never got hotel rooms. They were waiting on hold for 11, 12 hours.
An American Airlines spokesperson tells us, reclaiming Americans' reputation as the world's premium global airline is our mission, and we are relentless in that pursuit. The foundation is set and the plan is in place for us to deliver for our customers, shareholders, and each other, and we will do that as one team.
Union power!
WFA has requested an interview with Robert Isom.
All employees are well taken care of.
It wasn't just flight attendants rallying.
I think it just needs to be a whole overhaul of the management.
Angela Scott works in reservations as a travel professional.
We know that we're underpaid.
She stands with her coworkers.
We've been communicating on multiple occasions, over and over and over, bargaining with different type of contract agreements. So at this point, yes, that's where we stand.
Those protesting firm about Robert Isom's resignation or removal. In Fort Worth, I'm Tiffany Liu.
And those are your headlines from North Texas.